Hi, Chuck and Donna here with our 2 Acre World. Thanks for joining us. Today we're going to be giving you a brief rundown and a recap on what's happening in the garden right now. It's the 1st of August, and Donna's going to let us know what she's got going on here.
Okay, so we're going to be going through some of our failures and successes.
Yep.
This section of the garden is our perennial section. So we have a bunch of wildflowers here to attract the pollinators. We have artichokes going, and we have goji berries. We also have the same behind us. Down this row, we have this cute little row that looks like little tiny trees of asparagus. We will be putting in strawberries along here, and Chuck will be putting up a windbreak just on the other side of those strawberries. So this is our first set of hoops. Chuck's going to be putting up another hoop at the bottom and another hoop at the top, because can you have too many hoops?
Can't have too many hoops.
No. So we've got cucumbers growing. We had peas here. We harvested the peas and we threw in some more tomatoes.
Now the peas, let's talk about those a second. So the peas were delicious. They grew okay, but we didn't get enough of them, and they didn't, at least the variety that we had didn't really climb very well.
No, and I specifically looked for something that said it was going to grow 6 to 8 feet, and these things were
3?
Yes.
Maybe, yeah.
So, right here we have boysenberries. The boysenberries are new to the garden, and they will continue to grow on up, and we're going to enjoy those.
Hopefully. The idea is the canopy. You know, everybody wants their hoops with the canopy.
Okay, we had peas here again, and put in more tomatoes.
We've taken the peas out.
Taken the peas out, harvested the peas, yes.
And put in more tomatoes. Now, some of these tomatoes, talk about the tomatoes for a second. We started these tomatoes in the greenhouse, but they really did kind of poorly. And they were just so feeble that Donna decided to just dig them up and transplant them and put them back out here. And they seem to be, most of them are doing okay. Most of them took to the transplant, so that was good. Some of them didn't. Of course, it's going to happen when you transplant things. But I'm just not exactly sure what the challenge was in the greenhouse, so that may be for a future video, trying to analyze what happened in there. I have an idea of what happened in there.
You do? Okay, great. Here we have Brandywine raspberries.
They're looking good too.
They are looking good. I always keep a container of water out here, not only for our cats, but for everything else except the bunnies.
Now, we've had birds like we've never had before. I don't know what the reason behind it is, but each year we're getting more and more and more birds. Maybe because we're putting out more food for them, or there's water here.
Perhaps.
Whatever it is, we're not putting out food intentionally for them. But, I mean, we've always had food out for the livestock and the chickens so we always have a certain number of birds. But we're getting birds. You'll find 20, 30 birds on top of these trellises here sometimes. And I just love them singing. But we've had more than ever, which is unusual.
And we have the grackles. So we've never had the grackles before.
Right.
Oh, one other thing is, when I have a volunteer decide to live someplace, it's like, you want to live there, go ahead and live there.
You're a volunteer carrot.
Volunteer carrot. Then we have our honeysuckle, which of course will grow all the way over. I need to get another one for this side, or get some cuttings off of this guy in the fall.
Okay, next row.
Next row, carrots. Our grandson loves the purple dragon carrots. They're one of his favorites, probably just because they're have dragon in their name.
Maybe. They're tasty though.
They are very tasty.
Yeah.
So I have 5 different varieties of carrots. Then for the first time that we've had a lot of success with it, although I've planted it a couple of years, is our cabbage. And we will be harvesting the cabbage.
Today or tomorrow?
Yes, absolutely.
It's like, it's just big. It's gigantic, which is nice. The other ones are just starting to form that little cabbage in the center, I guess.
Cabbage head, yeah.
It just seems we're not very familiar with cabbage. We just know that we eat it all the time. So if we eat it all the time, we want to grow it.
Fish tacos.
Fish tacos, exactly. So we are kind of experimenting and testing. We're having great luck with that particular one, and the purple ones seem to be coming along. So hopefully everything will just continue on its happy path.
I think that cabbage likes slightly cooler temperatures than what we've got.
Yeah.
And with it being shaded by the corn on the one side and the honeysuckle on the other, has really helped it.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, leafy greens are typically a cool weather crop. I know that from the aquaponics because I would run the aquaponics in the wintertime, and that's when the leafies would do the best. And we've had a really hot summer, very little rain. Even though we're in the middle of monsoon season, we've gotten next to nothing. It might as well be.
Yeah, what, 2 days?
Yeah, it's been pretty pathetic rain wise. So hopefully it'll change here in the future.
The cantaloupe is another one of those things that I want to get started earlier in the greenhouse so that instead of following the rules of putting it out after your last frost, we have such a short growing season here. By starting those in the greenhouse, they will be put into the ground coming up after the last frost as opposed to waiting for it to grow.
So we're zone 7.
Yes?
We're zone 7. Our last snow was the last week of May this year. So we're very hesitant about putting things out, of course, before that time. So we did not take advantage like we should have of the greenhouse and getting things started earlier. This next season, this next fall and winter is going to be very different. We're going to be planting seeds, which we prefer to do, and getting those seedlings going as best as possible in the greenhouse and getting a jump start. The other delay we had too was that the Donna likes to till before she starts her planting, and my tiller broke, and I had to replace the carburetor, and that took a while to figure out what was wrong with it and to get it and to replace it. So she got a late start out here. Plus, we had a late start with the weather and all that. So that's been a big delay. So where other people have melons and that already, we don't yet. I'm confident we will.
Yes.
We always do. I had a 31-pound pumpkin. You know, it was like this. You know, back in 2 years ago. So we know that we can grow those well out here.
I could have dug most of the stuff with a shovel, but really I'm getting too old for that.
Getting too old for that. Yeah. The little tiller I got her works real well. It's not a big monster tiller.
No.
Because she wanted to run it herself. So it takes a little longer because it's just a little 15-inch cut.
But it doesn't go too deep.
It doesn't go too deep because I've got electroculture wires. You know, you can watch the electroculture video and learn more about that. I've got a couple of them up. But those wires are about 8 or 9 inches deep. So we don't want to go much deeper than that. And we don't really typically need to for that anyways.
No. So we have planted 5 different varieties of corn. 3 of them are eating corns. 2 of them were decorative. Red corn, blue corn. But our birds have found out how to pull back the husk and get to the corn. So they've really made a mess of things. Even though the birds have really there he goes, kind of destroyed things. I still pull these out and give them to the horses to eat because basically it's just a great big piece of grass. I was going to take the red and the blue corn, dry them, grind them, and make my own red and blue tortillas. So next we have 3 rows. We have onions that have not produced very well. I'd started some in the greenhouse, and yeah, I'm not sure. I'm going to keep working with the onions. I've not given up on them. I continue to water them. The next row was wheat. I've already harvested all the wheat, and I've saved the wheat stalks that I'm hoping I can weave it into a straw hat, historically accurate for Revolutionary War times. We're going to be replanting the wheat and hoping to get an entire second crop out of the wheat. We did red fife and emmer wheat. We really like the emmer wheat a lot better than the red fife. The birds went after the red fife and they did not go after the emmer. So we're just going to continue and we're going to grow all emmer. On the next row over here, we have 2 types of amaranth. We have a Love Lives Bleeding and we have a red amaranth. Amaranth is an ancient grain, and besides, it's just stinking gorgeous in the garden. Then we have a bunch more carrots and our beets. The beets have been just phenomenal this year, and I wanted to show you here. This is, I've got about 5 little bundles of the wheat stalks that I'm going to be making into hats. And then we have watermelon.
So this is the trellis that we most recently built. You can catch that, how we put this together on one of the videos. I'll put a link for it at the end of this. What do you got going here?
So we have little roses. And these roses I took from cuttings from our daughter and son-in-law's house, so I know they're going to survive here in Arizona, although they live in more of a housing tract and don't have the winds, but they're doing quite well.
These kind of things are what I look forward to growing on the vines, or growing on the trellises.
Yes.
These are really starting to climb the last few days.
Beans. I have the grandkids came and planted beans. And there again, I got a variety that was supposed to grow 6 feet. They're not done growing, but
they're about 3.5 right now.
These are cucumbers.
And so we're trying to vine our cucumbers this year.
We're trying to vine our cucumbers this year, hopefully to be able to find them better, things like that.
Yeah. Keep the bunnies away from them. We don't often have bunny problems, but we got a little bunny problem this year.
So these are heritage raspberries. And I tried them last year, had some problems, trying them again, but the heritage raspberries, all of our raspberries, come wintertime, I'm going to be doing different special things to help them survive our nasty, nasty winters here.
Yeah, I really want the berries to grow. I love fresh boysenberries, raspberries. They're so delicious. I really want them to go, but we have struggled to get these things to not even produce anything yet, but we've struggled
winter.
Just even get through the seasons. And sometimes the last 2 years especially, I don't know about you, but we've gone straight from winter to summer, like overnight. I mean, we just have literally had no nice springtime with decent weather to give plants a chance. So they're coming along this year, though. I think that between amending the soil every year, like Donna's been working so hard, and the electroculture, I mean, we have to give it up to the electroculture. To the electroculture,
absolutely,
it's doing some stuff for us for sure.
And then we have some more beans here. So this is our last variety of raspberries that we have planted, and these are golden raspberries, and they're supposed to be wonderful. So I'm really looking forward to those. And Bast is going to keep the birds away from our golden raspberries.
Good kitty. Sweet potatoes.
Sweet potatoes. We've done sweet potatoes in the past. We just didn't get them in early enough that we got a good crop of. We have 2 different types of sweet potatoes. And then we have russet potatoes that we're trying for the first. Well, not the first time.
It's the first time I think
they've done well.
They've done well. I mean, they're doing well enough. We don't know what they're going to be like until they're pulled out, of course. But they're doing well enough that we've got predators in here trying to dig them up. So there's got to be something. There's got to be something under there.
We've got more mushrooms growing.
More mushrooms growing.
Then we go into our vining plants. I wanted them over here where they had room to do their thing. We've got 2 different varieties of zucchini. Then we have pumpkins and other squash. But I wanted you to see that this plant and this plant that are what? How far apart would you say those are?
5 feet, 6 feet.
If even that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
These are both the same variety. These are both from the same seeds. This one is thriving and this one's going, eh. Yeah. So sometimes when your things die at home, it's not necessarily from something that you've done wrong.
Yeah, sometimes stuff just happens. Last year on the zucchini, we had one after the other, after the other, after the other, after the other, just start to die. And we're like, what is going on? And it turns out it was a gopher.
Yep.
That was up underneath, and he was eating the roots one plant at a time and killing them off. Now we've got some yellowing and kind of dying off on 2 of these here.
Right.
But we know it's not gopher. There's no evidence of gophers whatsoever out here this year as of right now.
And sometimes your zucchini, your pumpkins, whatever, they can be producing no female flowers. So you're not going to get any fruit.
True, you're not going to get pollination.
So even though you've got a beautiful bush, you're still not going to get anything.
Yeah.
Then further behind us is our orchard, and we'll do that on another day. As you go through your garden in your mid-season and you find what your successes and your failures are and what you want to do different next year, what I've oftentimes forgotten to do is write it down. Yeah. Because come spring, I'm going to go, what was it that was, do you remember?
Right. And I'll forget too. So yeah, write it down. your successes, your failures, your planting times, the dates,
Yes, the dates. I put down the dates of everything.
dates that you planted, so you can kind of gauge your harvest date. Sometimes things are obvious, that are above ground, the zucchinis and cucumbers and things like that. But sometimes the underground crops, the beets and the onions, garlic and things like that, you kind of want to go off a timetable, so at least you're within the ballpark of when they should be ready. Potatoes is another one.
Yep.
So thanks for watching today. We appreciate you tuning in. Ask that you subscribe if you'd like this video so you can see more, and hit that like button. It really helps the channel out. Thanks for watching Chuck and Donna on our 2 Acre World.
Bye.
Have a great day.
It's a simple life.